Hey everybody, so this is the coronavirus quarantine edition of Aftermath. My school is canceled for a little while along with a lot of other schools, and I haven't done these videos in a while, but I'm actually at just about exactly the point where I left off on my videos a long time ago. So I'm gonna just do some really quick ones, try to get a few facts out for my students and anybody else who can use to help. So this is the first one. It's from lesson 51, which is on linear equations, kind of an introduction into that. We just did the coordinate system, and we're gonna do a little bit more in depth of that. I don't even have my tripod on me actually, so I'm just gonna do a quick video. I'll get a close-up of the board and we'll work a couple examples out, maybe 3, see how we do on them. Okay, so this is my first example. This is y equals 2x minus 1. We've worked with ones a little bit like this already. We call them multivariable equations because it's got more than one variable. We're actually going to work on graphing it here. So first of all, we need to actually have a little chart. I always just do it this way. I have x and y. And basically, on your little chart, you're just going to make up some values for x. You can use any numbers you want. I'm going to use easy numbers, though, because there's no reason to make it harder than it has to be. So I'm going to use the numbers 0, 1, and 2, because those are easy to work with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug those values of x into the equation and see what I get for y. For example, if I put that 0 in place of x, I'm going to get y equals 2 times 0 minus 1. And 2 times 0 is 0, and 0 minus 1 is negative 1. So y would equal negative 1 in that case. All right, for my next one, I'm again using an easy number, the number 1. In this case, y would equal 2 times 1, which is 2, minus 1, which is 1. So y would equal 1. And then for 2, if I put that in place of x, y is going to equal 2 times 2 minus 1, which is going to give me 3. So I end up with basically 3 sets of coordinates. 0, negative 1 is the first one. 1, 1 is the second one. And 2, 3 is the third one. So just kind of circle them here. These are our 3 sets of coordinates. And what we can do is we can put those onto the coordinate plane. And when we do that, we will end up with a line. And we'll see that in just a minute. I'm actually going to go to the next example for just a second. This one is y equals negative 1/2 x plus 2. And so again, I'm going to do a little chart. And again, you can use any numbers you want for x, but you want to use easy numbers. So 0 is always an easy number. Usually 1 is pretty simple, but when you run into a fraction like we do on this one, sometimes it's best to just get rid of the fraction. So what I like to do is I like to just multiply by whatever the denominator is. So in this case, 2. That'll get rid of the fraction and give us a whole number, and that's good news. So I'm going to use negative 2, 0, and 2. But again, any numbers will work. I'm just picking these because they're the simplest. So if I put negative 2 in place of x, I'm going to get negative 1/2 times negative 2, and I'm going to get positive 1. And then positive 1 plus 2 is 3. So y equals 3 in that case. Now, 0 is much easier. If I put 0 in, negative 1/2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 2 is 2. So y equals 2. And then the last one, if I put a positive 2 in place of x, negative 1/2 times positive 2 is going to be positive 1. Negative 1. And then negative 1 plus 2 is going to give me positive 1. So again, I get 3 sets of coordinates, and I'll be able to graph them on a coordinate plane. And when I do, they are going to make a line. There's actually a coordinate plane in your book that you can see where that happens. The last example we're going to look at here is y equals negative x. Again, we'll do a little chart. This one's really easy. We could really use any numbers we wanted. I'll actually do, just to show you that it works with other numbers, let's do 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so in this case, y equals negative x. So if I put a 3 in there, y equals negative 3. If I put a 4 in there, y equals negative 4. And if I put a 5 in there, y equals negative 5. And again, I get 3 sets of coordinates I can graph them and they will make a line once more. So all three of those, they're in your book. They're graphed out for you. You can see how that works. The next little section in the book actually talks about basically horizontal and vertical lines. Those are actually even a little bit easier. They basically just give you x equals -2. Well, on your coordinate plane, you can go to -2 on the x-axis, and you can draw a vertical line straight through it. They also give you y equals 4, so you can go to 4 on the y-axis, and you can draw a horizontal line straight through it. So this is lesson 51 here. Hopefully it'll give you a little bit of help if you need it. I'll see if I can get some more.